This yellow?
Because he's fucking spastic.
Okay, no. I changed the colors, and custom games kind of bug out when you change the colors of things. So sometimes you guys would be yellow but purple in game, and other times you guys would be purple and yellow in game.
I hate that. Like,
Fuck
it'll just reverse the colors.
Yeah, because I'm slightly colorblind, so I like this. These are the two colors that let me see best, and it's kind of unfortunate that it bugs out.
Here, Luke asking how to use Scared Arrow.
I have it deafened. I don't even listen to the comms because I know your comms are terrible to begin with.
Your criticism means nothing to me. I'm not in the game.
Okay,
that was
so
the third game we played, right?
Dorado was the third, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're running double snipes with no mercy. Ryan, Zarya, Zen.
Yeah, we didn't know what to run.
Yeah. So typically when you have the double snipes, you want to run a mercy. I would say on Dorado, it's probably better to have a Widow because there's the Widow perch back here. So when the enemy team gets in the choke, the Widow has direct sight lines. And then your Hanzo obviously has spam into choke. And then you have the dragon combo with the Ryan Zarya. And then you have trance for the enemy Graviton. But obviously they're not running one, they're running dive right now. I do believe they swap eventually. So right now the only real use we have for nano boost, I guess, is like Bob and Reinhardt. And that's not really the best thing to have because it's a lot easier here with this choke to just rely on the grab dragon combo by just damage boosting the Hanzo and then using the damage boosted E to burst something down or someone down if need be. Do you have anything to add to that, Typhoon?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I'd definitely like to swap off this comp on second.
Plot twist, they don't swap for a very long time.
So
you can see that they dive high ground. My colors are fucking with me. And we end up getting the Winston and punishing them super hard. Unfortunately here, we're not actually taking advantage of that because they're now down their main tank. But we're not taking advantage of it. We're just letting them push the cart, and then we have really bad rotations, and Luke's going to get caught off here.
Wait, did we still have people in the courtyard when we rotated them?
Just bad
I
rotations.
didn't understand like how we got picked there. Can you go back a bit?
Yeah, I can go back.
Like after the monkey dies, yeah.
So monkey died. Alright, wait. Okay, there's a monkey. Monkey dies. We start coming backwards because the Sombra was back there, but you can see she translocate underneath. Now some of our team went around. Our Reinhardt.
We call out to go to choke right now?
Yeah, and then we kind of just like mess around, and Luke was underneath, I guess, spamming into them, and then he gets called out. And now we're down 2. We're down our Zenyatta and our Hanzo. So right now, I would say not to hold it choke, just because we're down 2. Because the Zen and Zen just respawned and Hanzo just recently died. So it'd probably be best instead of holding at this choke area to actually hold back here by fountain. If not, all the way back here or all the way back here. I can't draw the arrow because of the fucking more videos thing, but you know what I mean. And basically putting yourself in a position where you don't get staggered even harder.
And I would ask that next time we call that rotation, if our tanks could hold up just a second, because Zen and I didn't have time to get with the group before the group left, and then we both got caught out.
Okay.
Because I started moving when it was called, but I wasn't there,
Zen shouldn't have gone and killed the Sombra translocator as well, because she could have been there, and Sombra versus hacked Zen is an easy clap for the Sombra.
Yeah, but again, basically, I would like to see a bit more of a backwards rotation, just so we can avoid taking damage or getting picked, because they do have the Zenyatta, and we know how Zen right clicks work. So, also their Winston, he does this vertical jump a lot. So when you see a vertical jump like that, he doesn't really have a lot of air control if he jumps straight up. So if you go full vertical as Winston, there's not a lot of movement in the horizontal spectrum that you can actually do. So if he jumps straight up, you can definitely just literally back away from him, and he'll end up landing with you on the very outside of his leap range. So it'll only do the minimum amount of damage it can possibly do to you, which is what, like 5?
Yeah, I think it's 5.
Yeah. So yeah, just a little bit of information there. But again, we're holding up forward at choke, and like we had a pick, and we didn't take advantage of it, and now they have picks and they're not taking advantage of it because they're just goofing off doing absolutely nothing. All right, so we picked a Sombra that's really good, but now our main tank's down. And Luke distracted them, so that kind of held them back a bit. But we didn't retreat, and we're getting picked off and staggered. But they abandoned cart quite often in this VoD.
I have a question just for first point.
Yeah.
What should we run like that can like answer both to like goats and dive? Is there something?
Bunker. Bunker, Winston goats. Play goats of your own, and if they play quad, swap your Zen for your Moira. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so like reset diva or something?
Yeah, if you want to play bunker, sure.
All right.
What kind of DPS? What kind of DPS would you run with that particular bunker? Especially on first point.
So for Dorado, you want Ashe for sure, just to contest verticality from their team. So if they dive upward, like with Winston, Diva, whatever, without the full team, you're gonna get value from Coach Gun. Also, her damage, wild damage boosted, and if you're running bunker, you should have a Mercy anyway. It's pretty insane. So you run Ashe, and then your second DPS is optional for a lot of maps in current meta. Like generally on this map, you probably see like an Ashe Hanzo or an Ashe Widow. On some maps, you might see like an Ashe Junk, like on Hanamura, where long-range sight lines or one-shot potential with headshots isn't nearly as important. So you'll want Ashe here for sure to contest verticality, and then you can go between Junk, Hanzo, Widow, whatever. I prefer Ashe Hanzo here, but you know, I guess whatever favors your guys' hero pools. And then you'll want Mercy Zen or Mercy Ana.
All right. It really hold on to us like way too long. We don't swap.
So I don't know why we're fighting when we're like literally 3v5. It's not that good. I know, Rack, you messed up your graph here. It was an accident, yeah. But now we throw in Bob, and Bob gets slept, and we're down both healers now. Let's watch that again. Let's see. Okay, so their monkey jumps in, has no jump cooldown. We accidentally grab. That's fine. It was an accident. They trance. Now we Bob. And Scarlet dies. And there's Zenyatta die. And nothing's dying on the enemy team.
Quick question: is this a team you guys played this week?
Yes, this is they were 3.2. You guys have scrimmed them before.
Oh, okay.
I think you guys scrimmed them the other week.
I think it's just this.
No, I don't think we have.
We have no idea what to do. So.
Okay, so we don't know what to do.
I recognize some of the names on there.
Okay, so right here, he gets grabbed. Literally, everyone should just be shooting this guy if he's in grab. It doesn't matter if the grab was accidental or not. You just need to burn him down. And if he pops Primal while he's in that Transcendence, you continue to burn him down and get that all charge. These guys need to push into you guys. Even though the guy right here is going to use his Trance, we have an Anti-Nade. We can easily Anti-Nade this monkey and continue to burn him down.
But
And if he gets healed up by the Trance, it's still free alt charge. But if we look, we almost have all of our alts. We just use Graph. but we still have 4 ultimates. So what we should do is when the Zen comes in with his Transcendence, we can just shatter them, and then Rack can get some alt charge off of the backline when the backline moves in, and we're not really gonna have anything. So what we're gonna end up having to do is having to hold this corner, just like we normally would. Get Gadolin on high ground, and they have dive, so they're going to try to contest. So he just has to make sure he saves Coach Gun or has the ability to back up. But again, we would kind of want. Well, I didn't say it's before. It's not again, but we'd kind of want to be able to control high ground here because high ground's really important. So honestly, swapping dive into dive here would also be good instead of just running this 2-2-2 comp into them, because then you can just control high ground, and then whoever controls high ground can have, I guess, whatever DPS they want to have to go with that. But like if we're specifically just talking about this situation, we should have just burned down the Winston and anti-nated him, got rid of him, and then no one else, because the Diva's over here, she just respawned. What are these 3 guys gonna do? They're not gonna do anything. The Sombra, I think, is somewhere over here or something.
The Sombra just hacked the Ana.
Okay, so the
You can
Sombra's...
see the prompt on the left.
Okay, yeah. So the Sombra's back there, because that's where Ana is. So we know that our Ana's preoccupied. We know that our Zen's going to be preoccupied, because our Zen's right here, and he should be able to turn around and help our Ana. So what we should do then is because we accidentally grabbed here, do what we can to the monkey. When the grab's about to wear off, we back up and regroup with our supports, and then whoever attacks our supports, we kill them. Or at least get them to leave, because there's a Sombra's going to have a translocator, probably be over here, back near the Mega over here. So you just deal with the situation here, and then you back up. Because there's another great corner to hold right here. Because, this isn't like... I'm not going to give you guys top 500 strategies or anything like that, but it's that simple. You deal with the situation, and then you get ready for the next one. That's it. That's all you can do. We messed up, it's fine. But it matters how you bounce back from that mistake. And the bounce back is just regrouping with your team. Okay? Because this isn't the end of the world. This is just an accident. It happens. Okay, so we just call for a recontest with Nano Ryan. So they use EMP'd, and they use Blade and Nano. So that's 3 alts. We can't push forward the contest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We won that fight. I think as soon as Penguin tranced and we realized that Orbit didn't flash dash and get a reset off Blade, the Blade is now like a moot point. Like it doesn't even exist on the map now as long as we rotate within trance. And we already have 2 picks, so we should have been on cart in that rotation. Like if he nano blades into a trance and gets his reset, of course you still need to be scared and like hope you're not a squishy hero who dies to a slash dash and you probably need to split from your team. But he messed up his initial slash dash and in trance that's it for Genji. Like you're not going to get another reset 99% of the time.
Have we not done...
So here we're done.
Okay, so
Try to get
this is another scenario where a anti-nade would have been fantastic for the Transcendence. But that doesn't happen, and then we get focused out harder than we focus them.
I also don't think you guys should be playing on a Zen the entire time. Like, that's good for first because there's a lot of verticality for you to abuse, a lot of extremely long sight lines. But second point, those sight lines are cut quite a bit unless you win the first team fight. And then third point, those sight lines are like negligible because you have to play top, and if you play top, you're at risk of getting picked from a volley from the attacking Zen the entire time because your shield can't play up there with you like he can on second and first. And then like they're just playing around EMP Nanoblade, so if we have a Lucio or a Moira, our support line's just objectively stronger. Like I'd keep the Zen, I guess, but you want to play like Lucio Zen, or like even like Moira Zen and just drop the Lucio and hard engage onto him, and then their Genji is kind of useless if they swap to goats. We can obviously just swap our supports, but playing Ana Zen the entire time, you're just at risk of getting snowballed like extremely hard because those heroes take or they require space to like even operate. So if we're having to retake the payload or jump on payload to contest the cart, and we don't already have space control or like map control, Ana and Zen have a really hard time finding value on a lot of maps. And second and third point here is a good example of that. They'll get trapped into just bad areas where they can't heal or can't operate efficiently. And Lucio and Moira don't have that problem ever.
And I feel like our supports are suffering a little bit from muddy comms because last point there was so much going on. I was calling for healing in that fight with the Genji, and they literally just couldn't even hear me over muddy comms.
Nestor's leaving. Follow it.
We can punish this diva a lot harder for future reference because she kind of just sat there on card for a little while.
I think we went a bit too deep because look, yeah, Farah was like fighting the Sombra or something in the back, and when we dove, we didn't have our DPS with us. Can go back a bit. I don't think that was a good dive to call here because we didn't hit any rockets or shot before it. So. Can you go back, Arcade?
I couldn't see anything, but I was like under the monster,
huh?
and I heard I was getting.
Can you go back to the fight we just had?
Oh no, Glitch door, no!
Good before.
Oops. This one, yeah?
Here. Yeah, right here.
Where? Yeah. Wait, just
I dove the support, but we didn't have Farah back up.
Why did we jump?
I think the idea behind it was good. It was just the execution wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, I was just bringing ancient potions so that if I faint, I just eat.
So now we're trading in choke, which is, I guess it's okay, but with like the Zen Ana, that makes it really dangerous for us to just stay in choke and fight as a dive comp, because Winston's shield really doesn't do much. Like it's what 600 hit points the shield, but yeah. I mean it can get bursted down so fast, and when you're against a team that has like Zen and Diva, your shield really doesn't last long. So standing in choke and relying on the shield like whatsoever is really a bad mindset to have because it's not good.
I think you guys should be using this area a lot more than you are for your tank line. Like, yeah, he's right. Especially with and I don't like the Kree, I'll just say that right now, but like even with a Kree or with a hit scan hero whose job is to like enter from choke or late peek against a composition like this, like yes, well, like the hit scan hero needs to do that. Nobody else does, and he doesn't have to engage from choke. He can engage from left side with a late peek top bridge to the late peak. He could drop in from here and hard aggress onto them with flashbang through apartments. Like there's so many things you could do, but like we can ignore this entirely because you guys are playing Winston Diva and Lucio Mercy. You can literally come like top right here with your mobility cooldowns. This will reset in 5 seconds. This will reset in 6 seconds. You obviously just hover up. You all ride. Gad's on Kree, so he has to late peak. That's fine. He has to do that anyway. Scarlet just flies. You can all get up here in less than 5 seconds because we go by the longest cooldown to come back, and that's both leap and fly. So in 5 seconds, you can come up here, and once we have leap and fly back, you immediately just drop in, and you've now avoided this area. So like we've gotten past, I don't know, let's say 2 seconds, 3 seconds of travel in this extremely enclosed space. So you're going to save whatever amount of resources they could feasibly burn in 2 to 3 seconds in this super small room, which is going to be quite a bit, especially with the Winston. That small amount means a lot. Then you have options like jumping over Yellow Roof here, where Winston, if he stands right here, can literally just leap all the way over this building, and if they're holding close like they are, right, these 3 players, you will literally land on top of these 3. Like, that's a really good play. But with this comp, the only thing we can do is hard engage and then Pharmacy and Kree late peak. Like, we can't all engage at once. It's just not beneficial. God, I don't mind hit scan, but I think you should be on Widow against this. I get you're on Kree because they're playing Sombra Genji, but with our comp, if we're going to play like Kree goats, or I guess not Kree goats, but a composition that can pocket you as Kree, that means Luke's going to be off on his own in a lot of cases without space. So we can't make space for both these heroes because they kind of cancel each other out on this particular map. I can see this working on other maps, but here, like, the biggest win condition we want to deny them is the ability to just beat us flat out from this choke, and it's really hard to do that with both Kree and Farah here. Because if you get pushed at all and you need heals, you're gonna have to call for Scarlet, and then she has to leave Luke, and now Luke's like, well, shit, I can't play aggro now, and it gets really, really wishy-washy and just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like if you're on Widow, you play a bit more passive. If you need the heals, whatever. If we have you late peak and they had to extend to get you now, they're not dealing with the 5 players up here. So your late peak, whether you get contested or not, doesn't really mean much to us. If you don't get contested, you can pop off. Even if you don't pop off, just the threat of you holding down this sight line is really, really strong. Whether it's from here, like we talked about, whatever. Even grappling from behind and flanking. But this hero definitely requires pocket and a lot of space from his team a good portion of the time against top level teams. Kree can't go by himself and make individual plays against top tier players because they just won't give you that opportunity. Like a Sombra's not going to unstealth next to you. A Genji's not going to be in range to get flashed without his team pocketing, stuff like that. So our comp's just kind of weird, and we keep pushing through choke. I think with this comp, you guys never come here, period. Like, we engage from here, we engage from well, we engage with Winston leaping over, pulling vision because he leaped on top of them, and they're having to deal with him now. Then we can rush main if we have to, but yeah, you want to avoid this. Arcade's right. You don't have the tank line for this at all. Or just really the comp in general. Sorry, you can take control again.
So I think the next fight we try and engage with bomb because they're holding close. So I try to lob one over.
Okay.
Not certain. I think I fuck it up.
So if you wanna to bomb an area like this platform, the tier, you can actually launch your bomb over this, and it'll explode about right here.
Yeah, that just
then anything in this general area right here just dies. So if you've seen Emong's stream, he gets one over through this area, and then it explodes about here.
That's the one I throw, I think. If I don't fuck it up, I'll remember.
Yeah, I think they went behind statue.
Right, so we have someone card. Yeah, it is. Oh, fuck. It's not the one I threw. That's a shit bomb. Right.
Alright, so we go in for the fight, and they trance. They get a huge bomb. Fight's over. Boom. Big bomb. That's all it takes. Wait. Rack, are you in? Never mind, hold on. Whoa. I've seen the wrong thing.
What?
Alright, so we're pressuring the Diva high ground, that's good. She can't actually eat every every Pharah missile, so you're guaranteed to get poke. Racket's demeched
I don't know
here,
what we're doing right now. We're just
and
kind of
Luke has a bit of a flank, but we get their Zenyatta, they EMP,
somehow fucking around.
and I don't know. We're getting picks, but they're also getting picks because they hopped Blade, and now they've hopped Primal, and they've used Nano. We get a pick on the Genji. That's good. Diva's out of mech, and Baby Diva's dead. Now it's just Winston, and we clean up. Now we stay on card after we get rid of Astro, and that's it. All right. So now what should we be doing after this?
Push up and take the high ground.
Push up, take the high ground. Everyone agree with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, we're not taking the high ground. Monkey lost leap. Guy just got picked.
That was unfortunate too.
We just
I didn't
fell.
know. I thought Hanzo was with him. I went to go spawn camp the Zen.
All right, Potato's alone right here. For future reference, if you just call that you're going high ground, your Mercy can damage boost your Pharah, and your Diva can follow up and DM you as you land. That way you don't have to immediately use your bubble, because their enemy Diva is going to use micro missiles on you to try to get as much damage onto you as possible. That way her Winston can move in. So both teams launch bomb. We get a pick. We actually get 3 picks. But they get Potato, which is unfortunate. But they have to go back to actually kill Potato, and it forced them to use their resources elsewhere, which is how we got our picks.
No, it's the fucking pause where we thought we would have won the fight here. How did we lose that fight? Next one.
Oh yeah, then we auto pause because I think this is when Scarlet DC'd. Yeah, she's up here and she DCs.
Yeah, and we didn't follow up on that Hanzo. We talked about it, but it never really happened.
Yeah. I don't know how long it is till she gets back.
4v4 basically. When we thought we had a 6v4. Took forever.
Took forever. Alright, so Diva comes in for the recontest. They trance. Luke dies. We EMP. But we're not really looking at the same target the entire time. Potato jumps in and makes space, but he gets punished for it. And we're just kind of like we're just spaced out right now. We're not really. There's no cohesion to the team. So right now would be a great time to just back out, group up with your team, and move in together. But now, Pharah and Mercy are both staggered. Also, Widow would be very good here. Widow's is good in the Zen. She's good in the Hanzo. She's good into McCree and Anna. Most Annas will actually play in Widow's sightline, making it easier for the Widow to actually get the pick on the Anna. So we just used our barrage, and they used Dragon, yeah. And we're trading, but we're not really like there we go. Now we're looking at the same targets. Unfortunately, so they do get the nail on a Monkey, but with enough focus fire, he'll go down quickly. And all we gotta do is now stay on cart and hopefully kill this Monkey. Okay, the Monkey is not dead. Rack gets picked. They throw in a bomb.
I tried to eat behind me. That was better.
They trance on the point. We go for the rest. The fight's lost at this point. Fight's already over.
Yeah, we had that. We just there were only really 2 people shooting the monkey for most of that when there was no one, needed healing, no one on cart besides him.
Yeah.
Wait.
I don't really think we did anything to take space either. Like on the fight where Scarlet DC'd, we could have won that regardless of circumstances. Like we had 3 on cart, they push into trance, but trance doesn't get value because they don't play aggressive with it. We EMP'd at some point there. I'm pretty sure 2 to 3 players over the course of that team fight overextended past the choke into the building, which is like one of the worst LOSs for us to play for defender's advantage because we're pushing into them now. I don't feel like anybody needs to go past that point, period, like the entire time. We just force them to come out of choke and play into our LOS, like our defender's advantage. Like one thing I've been bringing up a lot today for some reason, I guess just by coincidence, is like kind of like a funnel effect, right? If we're forcing them to come out of the bottleneck, okay, and we're on the open side of the funnel, we have multiple places we can play to hit the bottleneck, right? If they're coming out of bottleneck, there's like no way we miss the super small pocket that they're coming out of. And as they come out, they have to look for us. They have to make their target focus. They have to decisively pick the right target. They have to worry about, okay, when we push this target, does this target here push us back? And by how much? They have to worry about, okay, we're coming out of the choke because we're having to stop the cart, but what map geometry do they have that they can use to abuse us? Do they have a wall that they can AD strafe? They have none of that, right? So they're in a bottleneck forcing themselves out. It's just a funnel effect, basically, and you want to be on the open side of the funnel. If you go into the bottleneck, like, they're not benefiting the entire time. I don't feel like we needed to do that. There's nothing really forcing us to have to do that, in my opinion. I feel like we could have just abused space on the open area of the cart and won that team fight flat out. But I don't know. We overextended 2 to 3 times, got picked.
That's it.
Yeah. Do you have another one?
I can get another one. I was
Hanamura.
only planning one.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I got one.
If someone's recording and they could send me the rest, I have to head out and start getting ready for work.